Welcome in to episode 23 of The Well. 23. I'm Drew.
I'm I can't believe it's 23.
I know. I know. I
That's great.
I could believe it. I
I
could
love
believe
it.
it.
It's
I love it
fabulous.
too. And make sure you like, subscribe, follow. It really all the support helps our page grow. So we appreciate the engagement, support, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help. So
Yes.
I like to say that first now, since we always say it last, and I feel like maybe you're not getting to the end of the podcast, so which is a shame. You should listen all the way through. But
True.
I will say the last couple podcasts have been getting some great engagement. So it seems like people really like the nostalgia aspect. So I think we're
Who
we're going to
doesn't like
continue. I
nostalgia?
know it does feel good, doesn't it?
It
But
does.
before we get into that, I have to bring something up.
Okay.
You ready? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm ready.
I wanna know if any of our listeners does this. So, coffee.
Mhm.
Now
Okay. No. I already know where you're going with this.
so I don't know about anybody else, but I can't drink day old coffee. So, if I get a coffee and Catherine drinks coffee with nothing in it, just straight up
Uh-huh.
black coffee. So,
Yes, I do.
she'll drink, like, 3 sips of the coffee and then put it in the fridge. And it might
Mhm.
sit in there for a day, 2 days, and then put it in the microwave, heat it up, and then drink it.
Yeah. And
Nasty.
and
Nasty.
you
It's
know, to each their own.
does it
There should
taste
be
good?
no judgment. No judgment. If it makes me happy,
There's no
then
way two-day-old coffee makes you happy. I'm sorry.
it's better than none. If I don't have any coffee,
Mm.
frick yeah, I'm gonna drink
Yeah,
that
but you
whole
have coffee. This has nothing to do with not having coffee,
It's called laziness, dear. It's because I don't wanna
which
make
is
it.
wild to me because you are, like, absolutely the least
Least
laziest
lazy
person I
person.
think I've ever met. I don't
I
even
take
know if
my
that's grammatically correct, but
I
we're gonna
take
roll
my
with it.
shortcuts. I have shortcuts.
Yeah, I will say the two-day-old coffee in the microwave is or
Eating.
reusing the coffee grounds.
Yeah, I do that
That's
too.
diabolical. That's just diabolical.
Diabolical.
Yeah. Can't reuse the coffee grinds. Like, that's
Yeah.
just
Hey, you know
on
what the
drip
topic
coffee.
is for today? Nostalgia. Let's go.
Yeah, so I see we've exhausted that conversation. So let me know if
Yeah.
you reuse your coffee, if that's
You
a
know people
straight.
do, and there are
I
people
don't.
out there that take their coffee mugs in the car with them, not travel mugs.
Yeah, that's a problem for me. So I
Shh.
don't understand. We
On.
have 1,000 travel mugs, and Catherine still. I would spill coffee on myself. I don't know how you drink coffee in a mug in the
'Cause I'm
car.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, we can go with that. You're not wrong. You are amazing. I just don't know if drinking
Gosh.
coffee in the car makes you amazing, but we can go with that too.
We are gonna go
We
with
can go
that.
with that. So, back to the topic at hand, shall we?
Yes. We
Since
shall.
since you clearly are not liking the coffee conversation. Not liking the coffee conversation. So, we got to talking the other night,
Mhm.
as we always do, and Catherine and I talk every night. Is
We
that
do.
weird? Is it weird that we talk? So, we were actually
Why would
thinking
it be
about this.
weird to
I don't
talk?
know. Wow, hold on. Your mic just got super loud.
Oh, really? Hello? Testing.
Yeah, I can hear you. There's a hum in the anyway. I'll have to fix it in post. I'm gonna bookmark this. So we were talking the other night, and we talk every night, like we were saying. And do other people talk every night? I feel like we have some of our best. We do almost not to sound all business like a debrief of the day, events, and just what's going on. So
It's a
we
brain
were
dump.
talking, yeah, and we got to talking about playgrounds when we were kids and the
Yes.
the apparatuses or apparati. What's the plural? Is it apparatuses? That doesn't
Mhm.
feel grammatically correct, is it?
Mhm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
need my sister to chime in too if she's listening, which she is a new listener now. So shout out to H Dizzle. So
Mhm.
playgrounds. Now,
Yes.
I was fortunate growing up. I had a park right across the street from my house.
Okay.
So it had basketball courts, it had a playground, it had a baseball field. It was great. It had a pond. It's very fortunate. It was just like a good
It's so
local.
nice. So
Yeah, it
pleasant.
was. We did a lot of bad things in the park. That's where I
Of
learned how to
course you
smoke
did.
cigarettes.
Of course you did.
But
We're not
the
talking about that
playground.
today.
I know. We're talking about the play. I'm giving some context. Okay, jeez. Did you have anything like that by you when you grew up?
Actually, we did have a park in our neighborhood. You had to bike to it. It wasn't too far. It was probably like 3 streets over, but it was in the residential area, and I actually do remember it so well. and we had this bucket swing that you could get in that was very popular. We used to have birthday parties there, but I digress. Yes, we did. We did have a park, which was really, really nice. It was fun.
So,
And I never thought about stranger danger when I went to the park when I was little. Anyway, okay, sorry, random.
yeah, I feel like we were really left up to our own devices back in the day. So, I don't think not that it wasn't an issue, but it just didn't feel the whole stranger danger thing just felt different.
No, you're not. You're thinking of like hanging out with your friends and having fun. So, yes, we did have a park close to us that was like that, which was awesome.
So, let's start off with maybe what was your favorite torture device on the playground? Like, what was your favorite playground thing to play on?
Oh, okay. So the park by my house was different than my school playground. So my school playground had a lot of equipment and it was made all of lovely gray metal
Uh-huh.
in the like close to spring, summer, March, April, May. It was freaking hot because I'm from Tennessee, and it would get so hot on those bars, like scalding hot, but we didn't care. We would, did you have those, what is it called? It's monkey bars, but it wasn't monkey bars. Well, we had monkey bars, but they were individual bars. We had like 3 different heights of them, and you basically hang on like, gymnastics. Is there a
Jungle
specific
gym?
name?
Jungle gym. That's what we
Kind
used to
of.
call it.
It was kind of like that, but they were individual bars, like separated out. So anyway, someone on here will listen and be like, "Kat, like that was totally this," and you probably know the name of it. But anyway, we would swing around on them, hold them, hang from them, and swing around on them. They were freaking hot. Or the like half circle. What was that thing called?
Those were jungle
Was it
gyms
the
with
jungle
the
gym?
I
It was
think,
like
we all
hexagon
just
shaped.
yeah, we all used to call it all those climbing devices jungle
The
gyms
jungle
or
gym,
monkey
yeah,
bars. Yeah.
yeah, so we had that, and I just had this thought. I remember being scared of getting all the way on the top. I don't like heights. I don't like, getting on ladders, roller coasters. I guess my fear of heights was started out when I was really young, so I didn't like getting on the very, very top, but I did like climbing it and hanging from it. So, yeah, those were great, but they were hard. Oh, and then okay, speaking of torture device, what was that the thing the circular, it's like a lazy Susan. What is that? What's the official name of that? Where you hang on and they spin. You remember
Merry-go-round?
that? No, well, it kind of was that, but the way that it was created with the bars, metal bars you hang on and
That's a
multiple
merry-go-round.
people, is it? I didn't
Mm,
realize that
I
was the name of it.
what else would it be called?
I
Unless
don't
I'm thinking
know.
of the wrong thing.
I gotta look it up now. My gosh, death defying. Yeah, you're right. It was the merry-go-round,
Wow,
but
you had a brain blip there.
I did, and I have to show this to can I share on here?
So,
Um,
yeah, if you hit
Or
share
let me send you the link and you can
okay.
share. Oh my gosh, this thing was like a death. The fact that we were allowed on this thing, I guess no one knew any better because it was like the latest equipment. But now you look at it and you're like, that's a tetanus trap.
Tetanus trap. My
Yes,
goodness.
because of the rust and the metal, Now I look at all the playgrounds and I'm like, they have this lovely rubber and, little like rubber chips as the ground. We had pea gravel on the ground, and I remember getting skin knees from it when I fell. Oh, and then I fell off the monkey bars and my bottom teeth went through my bottom lip.
My god.
Okay, so that one on the right, that 7 pla that is exactly what we had on our playground. Maybe a
Yeah,
smaller version, but this thing was insane. It was awesome,
yeah.
everybody loved it, but, you could get trapped underneath it. You could fly off of it. It's not like there are seat belts or anything. So, yeah,
Yeah, this
that
one
to
was
me was the death.
wild.
That was bad.
Yeah, that one was definitely, sorry,
Do, do, do.
I'll put it into the I'll make it, in the edit because the screen sharing on this in real time is a little bit challenging.
That's fine.
So, those merry-go-rounds,
Mm.
especially the smaller ones, the metal smaller ones that you could
Right,
get to
right.
spin really fast, and you would always start off sitting in the middle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or you would
Forgot
be
about that.
holding on for dear life, and then
Uh-huh.
always your friend or friends would spin that thing, and the inertia, right, would try and fling you off, and it's all
Yeah,
metal.
yeah.
So
Right.
it's not like a soft hit.
No,
So
no.
and then you'd be, like, so sick because you were spinning at a nauseating rate,
Right.
and it was you kinda now it's
Oh.
like, "Do I need a tetanus shot? Like, do I need tetanus right now? Because this is just terrible."
Yeah, I'm looking up one other thing because I can't remember the name of it. You probably know what I'm talking about. The Easy Rider. That's what it's called. It was different
Easy
animals
Rider.
like that you sit on
With
and
the
they're
spring.
on springs. And literally, I can't believe that we didn't fly off those things or like the springs didn't break because I was a big kid, like I was a big old chunky monkey kid. And sitting on those things, I loved them, and everybody was always clamoring for, like, the particular animals, versus others. So there was, like, a zebra, there was I can't remember what all of them were,
There was
but
a
with
turtle.
yes,
Remember
the
the turtle?
turtle, there was a
A
horse,
horse.
there
Yep.
was I thought there was some other animal, like a not a bear, but seahorse. We had a
Yes.
seahorse.
But they weren't fun. Like, I don't ever
They were kinda
remember those
scary
things being
looking.
fun. I guess, boys might be different in the sense of how, we used to play. But man, you used to try and get that thing to go all the way back
Oh,
and
yes.
launch you, right?
Okay, no,
So,
I didn't launch.
yeah, we
That's a
were
boy thing.
or try and physically harm the person that was riding it by doing something stupid. I
Yeah,
feel like that's what the
no.
playground was. It was a way to inflict
Inflict
pain
pain.
on others at for your entertainment. So,
That was just
but it
you.
was
I didn't
yeah,
do that.
it was magical though.
It was, yeah,
It
and the
was.
seesaw was always great, but it was so challenging trying to get the right weights on each side, and you always knew which friend was the seesaw buddy, like you'd
See, we
o
didn't yeah, we didn't have seesaw buddies.
Oh, really?
The goal was to on the seesaw see, again, I guess this is how
To
I
hurt
played
people's
different.
behinds by dropping them?
Yes, to jump off at the right time so they would slam to the ground.
Yeah, that's horrible. We didn't do that. We would find buddies that were around the same and it's funny because you think about science, we would automatically find a kid that was around the same weight so that you could seesaw for a long period of time.
Yes. What's with this intelligent approach to seesawing? Like, yo,
It's
I
just
couldn't
girls,
even
babe.
yeah,
It's
I
alright. We're just
guess.
smarter than guys. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna
Log
argue. Do you
logic.
seesaw was I feel like the seesaw was a 5-minute activity.
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
all of
all of
them
it.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't spin very long. Like the little spring horse, you didn't sit on that for very long.
Mm-mm.
We often spent time sitting in we had the way that our playground was, it was situated near a field, like soccer fields, and so in March it's funny, actually, I don't know if other people do this, but weather often triggers memories for me. So, for example, like, if there's a very sunny day and it smells like grass and it's spring that often triggers this memory for me. Me sitting on the ground at like recess, and I don't know what those flowers are called, but they grow in the grass and they're white and they're tiny little, like you make daisy chains out of them. They're not, I don't think they're daisies. There's some other kind of flower. You'll have to find it. They have a long stem and you pull them out of the ground and then you could wrap them together to make a necklace or a halo like a wreath around your head. And we would sit there and look for 4-leaf clovers and we would pull those flowers out of the ground. They were wildflowers and tie them together. And I'll never forget doing that. So sometimes on certain days when it's like just the right weather, it reminds me of that. Good
Hmm,
memory.
that
That was
is a
like a
good
happy
memory.
memory because it was so, I remember the feeling of just sitting there and feeling so calm, which is crazy, I think. Because now I have like very rare moments where I'm calm. And then
Yeah,
like weather also triggers another memory. Like if it's dark and stormy and it's windy and kind of chilly out, It reminds me of when I was little and I would go like over our carport, we had like an attic, like a pull down attic. And I would go up there and the way that the rafters were, they made a point, like a roof point, and I would take tons of stickers from my Scholastic magazine up there, and I would put the stickers all over the rafters to because I wanted to try to make a clubhouse out of it. I was really obsessed with clubhouses.
I
Mickey
feel like
Mouse Clubhouse. I didn't really watch that, but I always wanted a fort or some kind of club.
every kid had a I mean, I shouldn't say every
Yes.
kid, but I also had that fascination with forts, tree houses, clubhouses, anything that I could brand my own, right? Like,
Yes,
this is
yes.
mine, and I can invite you in, and it's our own little secret kind of safe haven.
I just love that concept. I still like that concept. Like, if I could, like, have a closet to myself and, like, put all these fun things in there, I would totally do it and go sit in there. I have been known to sit in the closet before.
Yeah, a
You
funny
have too?
story about that. Yeah, so when Catherine and I were in different states, like long
Oh,
distance
yeah.
relationship, we would talk every night. And it was funny because I'd be like, "Are you in the closet? Like, are you sitting in your closet?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's so bizarre. Why are you sitting in the closet?" She's like, "It's quiet. I can just kind of not worry about anything. It just felt comfortable or comforting." So
Mhm.
I actually, since I moved to Texas or whatever, excuse me, I've sat in the closet because it is quiet, small, and calm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yes, I can relate. Wow, that's a pivot. But back to playgrounds and forts and
Sorry, I totally digressed.
no, no, I love it. Our conversations always kind of twist and turn in the best possible way. I think the fort thing, it could also have been the influence of kind of movies and TV for us. I feel like some of the coolest things you saw on TV were like
Yes.
forts or
Oh,
these tree
yeah.
houses or these, kind of secret places in the woods.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just was different. Your imagination really could kick in a different way when you could do stuff like that.
So I lived on a cove with all boys except for one girl that lived next to me. And everybody was a little bit older than me, but my other neighbor, I'll never forget, Jeremy, that was his name. He had an older brother and his parents had I don't know if the house came like this or if they built it. He had the most amazing standalone fort built out of like, 2 by not 2 by 4s, but it was all wood. You could climb up the ladder. I mean, that thing and it always ended up being the home base for tag or like hide and seek. And literally, I could walk out my garage around the corner and go back in his backyard. He didn't have like a fence. And so all the kids from the neighborhood would meet up there. It was like the meeting point. And like movies and books that I read were always talking about forts. And I would draw out what I wanted my fort to look like, and it had, like, a little trap door, and it had, like, a bunch of, like, pillows and snacks. I used to read the Babysitters Club books, and there was a
Mm.
character that always had snacks, and so that's where I got my inspo for the snacks, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll have a TV in there," The Berenstain Bears book, the brother and sister had a fort that was awesome, and so I think to your point, we grew up with a lot of that, you know? There was always a fort somewhere in some kind of movie or book or your neighbor had it. I would still totally build a fort. Like, yes, please. I'd love a fort. I will get up in
Did
a
you ever
fort.
used to do this? We used to, I don't know, I feel like as a kid, we would cover so much ground on foot or on bike
Yes.
that you had
Uh-huh.
to we would try and get lost. We'd be like, "I wanna get lost today. Let's go in the woods and just run around." It was like this weird
Yeah.
thing. We
It
were
was very
always trying to
adventurous.
get lost because it was boring doing the same things over. We wanted an adventure.
Something
I feel like
exciting. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that was a good part, at least of my childhood, always looking for an adventure, and
Yeah.
I feel like forts and clubhouses and tree houses just added that flair to the adventure of, like you
Yes.
said, a meeting spot or a congregation spot, and at least in my circle, we always had a friend that, someone's parent could construct stuff.
Yes.
So,
Always
they
somebody
were
on the
able to
block.
build something or I'll never forget, we used to be big into like go-karts, so we had somebody that would teach us how to work on motors from a lawnmower, and then we ended up building our own go-kart.
Yeah.
And teaching us things that I feel like you just don't quite see these days, at least
Mhm.
in our experience with kids. Let's go buy a go-kart, not, "Hey, yo, let's take the motor out of the lawnmower and throw it on some crappy rinky-dink frame and staple a seat or strap a seat onto this frame." And I mean, I know we're digressing, but it's a funny story. When I built my first go-kart, I picked up this really crappy frame from some kid. I think I was like 13, and it had a 2 by 4 as the bumper on the front, just kinda, like,
Oh,
screwed
yeah,
in,
right.
and then
Uh-huh.
it had, like, a old cafeteria plastic seat bucket
Did it
that was
really?
literally
That's
ratchet
funny.
strapped to the frame, so it was completely unsafe,
That's so
and
cool, though.
and I used to rip around on that thing. Oh my god, it was so
Was
much
it
fun, and I'll have
motorized or was it
Oh,
like a
yeah, it had a
push?
lawnmower. No, it had a
Really?
lawnmower motor. Yeah, this
Wow.
thing was badass. So and it
Oh,
went
I'm
quick. It
jealous.
was super, super dangerous, and I'll never forget that's how I learned truly what how a motor worked. It's my brother back then. He wasn't he I wouldn't say he was great mechanic, like super mechanically inclined, but he knew enough to be a hack, and I couldn't get the motor to start. And of course, being the older brother, him being the older brother, he's like, "Yo, check to see if it has spark." I'm like, "What the heck are you talking about? Spark?"
Mhm. Okay.
So he's like, "Put your finger on the spark plug wire." And then
No.
he pulled the cord. I was like, "Oh my god." So I learned exactly what spark meant at that point. Also learned that we fixed the carburetor was going bad,
Mhm.
and there's a float valve in the carburetor. This is riveting conversation, I know. But so I used like aquarium sealer and a penny to stop it
Really?
from leaking. Yeah, I mean, we just also our rip, the pull start broke,
Right,
so
right.
the spring and the so what we ended up doing was we pulled off the cover and had the flywheel exposed, and I just used to tie a rope around the flywheel,
To
which
get
is
it to
incredibly
pull?
dumb, to pull it. So you'd pull directly on the flywheel, so if it ever ripped the other way, you were literally gonna probably destroy your arm.
You know what
That
quote I love?
No,
"Necessity is the mother of invention."
invention, yeah.
And even
I don't
as a
know if
kid, you're figuring out how to make something work, and now you're so good with cars and, like, figuring out how to make them make
Yeah, when
sorry, I
you
didn't
you
mean to
don't have
interrupt
any
you.
no, you're spot on. When you don't have any money, you kind of figure out how to do
Hacks.
things. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I never wanted to be a hack. That's one thing I didn't so I learned how to hack it up, and then I got tired of stuff being hacked together. I didn't like the way it looked, and I didn't want it to represent my lack of knowledge, so I made sure to do things
You
better.
iterated.
I
It's
learned,
a it's a
I did a
product
lot of
life
research.
cycle.
Yeah.
It is
But
kinda
yes.
funny, though, the things that you learn or things that you're interested in as a kid follow you the rest of your life, you
Oh,
just
yeah.
figure out better ways to do things.
That go-kart changed a lot for me. I know
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Like,
I
that got
bet.
me totally into things that when it came to cars and motors and anything with a motor in it, I was all in. So I
Don't you
absolutely.
find it fascinating that and I would love to hear if anybody else has done stuff with go-karts as a kid, but I think it's funny you and I both wanted a go-kart, and we would, like, I found I'll never forget, a blue frame, wooden frame of a go-kart. It didn't have anything in it, and I wanted to buy it. My parents were like, "No, it's not motorized." They were, like, discouraged because 'cause I'm like now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, they didn't have anywhere to put it, So they were like, "No."
Well, Travis would always ask for a go-kart. Remember
He
he was like, what,
did,
14 or
which
something?
I think is so funny. He would be like and then it went from a go-kart to a golf cart. And I remembered being a kid and wanting a go-kart, but I never got one, and I was like, "I don't wanna squash his dream of getting a go-kart or a golf cart." But I was like, "Where are we gonna put this thing?"
Yeah, well, and then
And
it went to an e-bike.
yeah, but don't you find it interesting that as a kid, we always want motorized things?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we
Yeah.
wanted the race cars, remote control cars, like, that was a huge thing that I loved.
Oh my
I was
god.
really into kites too,
So
movement.
so Yeah, it's weird because I loved the stunt kites. Do you remember those with the 2
Yes, those
strings?
were I couldn't get it, like, advanced enough. I like the
Oh my gosh.
Walgreens kites, for, like, 2 or $3, but the moment you got a really nice kite, that was super cool. My
Yeah,
dad used to take me to do that.
I always wanted a parafoil. Do you
What's
remember
that?
what those were? It's a
No.
kite, but it just was this big kite and it would fill with air. I think I'm saying it right. I think that's what it was
Oh,
called.
yeah. Oh, it's like a glider type thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
always wanted a parafoil, and I thought I talked about this on another episode, but I huge into remote control cars. I mean, I
I know,
built
yeah.
them, and my big wig was the best thing ever. I actually looked it up on eBay the other day to see if I could buy another one because that's super nostalgic for me, and to have that back in my hands would be freaking amazing. And they sell it. They
Uh-huh.
have it on eBay. That big wig was revolutionary for me. You could ask anybody in my family how addicted I was to that. And I'll
Really?
never forget, I was down at the beach and I brought my remote control car and
That's
I was
cool.
I was playing with it and it went into a sewer drain,
Uh-huh.
this long tube by the beach, and it because it was metal,
Yeah.
it destroyed the signal, so I couldn't get it to move because there was, like,
Interesting.
interference. Oh my god, you should have seen me and my family trying to get that thing out of there. It was crazy. It was crazy.
That's
They still
funny.
talk about it to this day, how, like, difficult that time was, but any case, so remote control car anything motorized or moving was
Yeah.
fascinating to me, but I wanna talk about something playground related again, and we
Okay.
can keep jumping. We gotta talk about the sliding boards. We gotta figure out sliding board, like
Slide
the slides.
Oh, yes, the metal
You didn't
slide.
call them sliding boards?
No, we
Slides.
just called them slides.
So let's put something outside that's made out of metal, almost like a mirror in the sun. And who thought that that was a good idea? Like, I want to know.
I guess that's what you thought of with the resources you had during that time. I don't know. We didn't have all that playground plastic,
Yeah, but
or
even
someone
why
didn't
make
think
it
about it.
reflective? Like,
I
it
d
just doesn't make
I
any
don't
sense.
know.
Because
I don't
literally,
know.
it was like a hot skillet. Like literally, you're sliding on a hot skillet. It was so freaking hot in the summer. It was ridiculous. It was torture. But here you are sliding down anyway, right?
Yeah.
Didn't matter, and always you ever do it where you had people sit at the bottom, and then everyone would keep coming
Oh,
down and, like
yes. And, like, hit each other.
yeah, like, what was that about? Why was that fun?
The 2 things I remember well, the main thing I remember about those slides is that we had uniforms, and I can't remember if we had skirts or if I wore shorts, but either way, when it was really hot out, you'd sweat, right? So, you're not sliding down that slide in one swoop, right? Like, you're sweaty, your butt's getting stuck to the slide, and then it was even hotter. I would get midway down and then slow down and stop, and then you're having to, like, scoot down the rest of the way or just, like, hop off. And then the other thing somewhat related is I remember my hands smelling like
Mm,
metal and pea gravel dust when I would go inside, and it was disgusting. You'd be caked in this, like, brown dust all over your body because 'cause you're sweaty from being outside, and the smell of metal or, like, the chains on the swings,
no,
Like, the
yeah,
always pinching your fingers, and then they finally invented these, like, plastic things to go over the chain, so, just
it's
at the
just like a
bottom
coating,
portion.
yeah.
Yeah, it was so crazy. It's funny how, like, I kinda feel like we were guinea pigs for playground equipment.
Talk about iterative. Speaking of swings, right? Like, well, first of all, did you ever have a slide that you would slide down? It was on asphalt. We had, like, slides that were
Yes,
on
yep.
asphalt. I was like, "What a
Not at
terrible idea. What a terrible idea that
Oh,
was."
yeah.
But
Getting
I
skinned up all the time.
brutal. And then with the swings, the chains,
Yeah.
and that black plastic seat that was also a million degrees,
Huh?
and then I don't know about you, but we used to love the swing, and then when you would hit the high
Hop
point on
off.
the swing, hop, like, fly off, which,
We would do
again
somersaults off.
oh, wow, you are. Yeah, I wasn't
I
that much
never
of a
did,
gymnast.
but all my friends love to do somersa it always hurt my feet jumping off. The stinging sensation, I
We
don't know.
just would fall. But how about, did you ever take, if you had 2 swings next to each other, you kinda flip them in, you put your legs on one and the other
Yes.
person, and
Yep.
you kinda swang
Yeah,
that was weird.
we always did that. So
It's just
funny.
kinda weird how imaginative you are when it comes to trying to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So playgrounds, what was your favorite, so I'm talking like elementary school recess. Let's go way back. What was your favorite playground activity? Like what did you love to do at recess? Did you have any memories of things that were just the best?
Actually, all those things, I guess. So there was one difference in our school playground most playgrounds didn't have. So we had the back part of our playground was fenced in, and with the metal, those construction metal fences, and then it was covered with honeysuckle. And we couldn't wait to get outside, and we would pull off all the honeysuckle. And I learned this again, I mentioned this before, I've always been a late adopter with certain
Mhm.
things. So, like, someone showed me, "Oh, you can eat the honeysuckle." And we would sit there and pull off as much honeysuckle as we could. But I used to get so annoyed because you get such a small amount from the honeysuckle flower, per honeysuckle flower. But that was always a fun memory. And then, like, sitting there and making these like flower chains in the grass was always fun. Swings were always one of my favorites. I just like to swing. I didn't like doing a bunch of like tricks off of it, but I did like it. That was always fun. It's always funny what people run towards. And then I wasn't a I've never been into soccer or like kickball or anything like that, but we used to play kickball and I loved kickball. I was actually good at it. I just didn't like it. One thing I
Can you be
hated
bad
though,
at kickball? Can you be
yeah,
bad
you
at
cannot
kickball?
not kick the
Really?
ball when it's rolled to you.
Hmm,
But I
fair
hated
enough.
dodgeball because I would always get hit and it hurt. I think it's the worst game ever.
So, it's worse than that was suicide. Did you ever play suicide?
What was
Where
that?
literally you would like throw the ball, like a tennis ball or a pinky ball, and it would hit the wall. And if you had to catch it, if you didn't catch it, you had to run and touch the wall before, but the person that would grab the ball would throw it as hard as they could at you. And if they hit you before you touched the wall, you were out.
Remember
So
that.
yeah, we played a lot of really aggressive games back in the day. That just triggered it's a terrible name for a game, but that's what we called it. It was just awful. I mean, we played some weird stuff like half ball. I don't know if you ever played half ball.
Mm-mm. No.
So we get a broomstick. God, I'm really dating myself now. We'd stand in the middle of the street. We get a broomstick, right, without the broom end, without the broom,
Oh, yeah.
and then we would take a tennis ball and cut it in half, and then you would throw it and you had to hit it. That was stickball
Ah,
for us.
interesting. Huh. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
I wonder if other people played that. Or is that like a northern thing?
I don't know.
Eastern? I don't know.
I never paid attention. That or, we used to play a lot of handball.
Really?
Handball was, yeah, as kids. So the thing for me that sticks out, those memories stick out for me because they were painful, but, what I loved, I don't know if anyone else had this, so I'd be curious if anyone else had this in their youthful experience. I just lost my train of thought when it came to how to phrase that. But any case, I think it was 1st or 2nd grade, we had something called Safety City.
Okay.
And literally the teachers, which I had some amazing elementary school teachers, I will say, because it's these memories have stuck with me.
Mhm.
They would set up a city on the playground and everyone
Okay.
would get on their tricycle and people had certain things that so you had police officers, you had fire people, you had traffic signals, stop signs, and you would drive around and you had to be safe and you would roll around on your tricycle and you had all these tasks. It was amazing. It was like a
Oh,
really, really fun experience, and it
interesting.
didn't happen often enough,
Mm.
but when it did, man, that was special. Safety City, I will never forget it. Not everyone got a tricycle, so when you got a tricycle and Safety City, you were just
Oh, that's
leader of the
cool.
pack. That was a lot of fun. That
Leader
was
of the
just great.
pack. Vroom,
Yeah,
vroom, vroom, vroom.
do you remember it was I don't wanna say a basketball game, but it was a ball game where you would throw the ball up into that bucket and
Oh,
it had the different
yeah.
spouts, and you didn't know which one it would come out. What a
And
stupid game that
I
was.
never understood the purpose of that game. It was
Yeah, I
so
don't think anyone
boring.
did. That and,
And
well, I love tetherball. Did you play tetherball?
We had that, but I never really played it.
Oh, man, I love that game. That was
That was
that was
another one
good.
that was like,
Too violent for you, dear?
no, I just didn't understand the purpose of it.
To get the
That
ball to go around and hit it.
Yeah, but it was boring.
Hmm,
Like, you hit it, okay, once, and then it was like, "Okay, now what?"
I guess I mean, it's not like you would play it for 10 hours.
Yeah, true.
Did you ever play Foursquare?
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. That was one of our favorite games.
I love that
That
game.
we played hopscotch, jump rope. We did jump rope a
Yeah,
lot, like double dutch. I
double
was actually
dutch was
really good
big.
at it, which don't ask me to do it now. But yeah, that was really fun. Foursquare was always so great. Although, you know what's weird now that I'm realizing this about myself? Like, I had such impatience for rules of games that it always irritated me when you had but when it was, like, overly complicated. So, like, Foursquare, you had to learn all this stuff about Foursquare and how to play. We used to do a lot of hand games, like, Miss Susie had a baby, she named him Tiny Tim. You know, the like, what
Miss
was
Mary Mac,
Mac
all dressed
Mac
in
yeah.
black with
My
silver
sister
buttons, buttons, buttons
always
all down
had
her
a
back.
"Okay, dear." Actually, that's awesome you can remember it. We used to have another one. My sister would do one with me where it was, like, really complicated hand
Uh-huh.
motions. What was the name? I can't remember what the song was, but anyway, you get the point. We did a lot of that, and I feel
We
like
also
kids
used
still do that, just not
yeah,
as
Cats in
much.
the Cradle. Did you ever do that with the string?
Yes. Yeah, we did
That
that
was a big
one.
popular one too.
Yeah,
That was
that
fun.
was
How about,
fun.
never liked tag, but, like, freeze tag. Used to play that
Freeze
a
tag,
lot
we
on the
played a lot.
playground.
I didn't like
And
t
then
running around.
Red Rover,
Oh, that was one of my favorites. We would play
red light,
that
green
in
light.
Yep, played that. Red Rover, I remember because we played that in lower school. I was a really big, overweight kid in
You
5th
keep saying
grade.
that.
I
I'm gonna have to
do,
put up
I
some pictures. I'm gonna have to flash up some
Oh
pictures. What are you
gosh.
talking about?
Okay, so yeah, and I was such a big ki and I was very strong, and I was very tall, so everybody would always want me on their team for Red Rover because I wouldn't let people through,
You're the
ever.
brute. You're the goalie.
I was, and then I realized later that it probably wasn't a good thing that people were thinking of me like that, but I was good at my job.
You ever play kick the can? I always thought that was a weird
No,
game too.
I didn't
Yeah,
really
kick
play
the
that.
can was always kind of bizarre. Kick the can, man.
They're good those are good ones. Yeah, we played a lot of that. That was fun.
We used to shoot marbles. I don't know if you ever did that.
I did that, yeah, not for very long, but we did play that. Did you ever play with this inside school? They had these red cardboard bricks. This was, like, when I was really little,
Yes.
and you would
Yep.
build things out
Build
of
them,
it.
and then you'd
Yeah,
topple them all over.
yeah, that was really fun.
That was
I
that
liked
was
that.
How
It's
about Ghosts in
crazy
the Graveyard? Did you ever play that?
I don't think so. What was it?
Mm. You kind of establish like a home base, and then I think it's similar to what you talked about the other day, and you would have a player. They would close their eyes and count slowly. I think like 1 o'clock,
Okay.
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, all the way to midnight. During this time, all other players must run and find hiding places. So it's kind of like hide and seek. And when
Okay,
the
no, we
player
didn't.
called out midnight, the rest of the players would run to home base before they caught them.
Yeah, I never played that. Hide and seek was huge at my house. Like, I was always asking my sister or my parents to play hide and seek with me. I loved the chase. Figuring out a really good hiding spot so no one could find me, and I was pretty good.
Yeah, see, we my fat like if we ever first of all, it was always impossible to find anyone to play hide and seek. But when
Mhm.
you finally did, at least in my house, my if let's just say I would coerce my brother into doing it, I'd go hide and he would just never seek, right? So I would
My
just be
sister did
sitting
that.
there.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like, you want me to play? Got it. You go
and
hide
then
and I'm never going to go find
I
you.
had to pee. I remember I had to pee so bad, but I would not leave my hiding spot. I was always holding my pee.
Okay.
Even when I was
Soundbite.
outside, like, when I would be outside playing with my friends in the neighborhood, I never wanted to go inside to go to the bathroom, and I I had a little accident one day.
Okay.
But I was dedicated. I was so dedicated to not going in. I hated going inside. I love being outside all
Yeah.
the
No,
time.
it was that was I think that was just our generation. It just the
Oh, yeah.
outside was really important.
Yep.
And something else that I feel like reckless abandonment. I don't know if you had this, but we used to so I talked about day camp in the last episode. One of the things I forgot to talk about was some of the activities that we would learn in day camp. We used to shoot rifles. Did you ever
Yeah, I
shoot
never
rifles? As a
no. But
little
I
kid,
never
we would
went to
shoot
camp, babe. I was not allowed.
22s. We would have a rifle with 22s at a gun range. I'm like, "What is," and no one thought anything about it, but they're
No,
literally
not
giving
then.
young children guns to shoot live
But it was
rounds.
I feel like that was more of like a camp activity. Well, live rounds is weird. But my mom, I remember her talking about how my grandfather gave her a hunting rifle when she was like 8 and to go squirrel shooting. And she always felt so bad that she was like, I don't want to go anymore. So he never took her again because she didn't like killing the little animals.
Oh, well, I can
But
understand that.
I feel like that was the thing though, back in the day. No one really thought of it like that. Like you're gonna go to a school or some kind of, like do bad things with them. It was an activity, it
Yeah,
wasn't like a weapon of death. So
it just sounds weird to talk about it in
it
current
does
times that,
now.
and
Yeah.
I mean, back then it was, I mean, amazing, right? Like, "Oh my gosh, you're
Yeah.
giving me a gun? That's cool to shoot." Or
Responsibility.
archery, right? Like, learning how to
Yeah,
shoot a
yeah.
bow, or then upgrading to a compound bow. I'll never forget when they put a compound bow in my hand, I was just like, "This is the most amazing thing ever." I just wanna run around with a bow
Do you
and
still
shoot
would you
things.
still like to do that? Like go to a class or go to a
Probably not, no.
okay.
Why, do you wanna go to do archery? I don't know. I
No.
found myself obviously interested in things I was good at, and I
Right,
kinda was
right.
not bad at archery, so I enjoyed it because it was a sport that I could do and not get made fun at, or fun f
Yeah.
people didn't make fun of me for it, so that was always a plus. Anything I could do where people didn't, because if you saw me play soccer, oh my gosh,
I was not good at
terrible,
soccer. I mean, I don't have
terrible.
good feet coordination, and I was always afraid I would, like, break my ankle.
Even as a kid, I didn't like to sweat.
I didn't wanna run.
I hated being out in the heat. Even as a child, I
Yeah,
just
and it was
disliked being
hot.
out in the heat.
I
It was I
remember
in PA, it was hot too.
in high school, a lot of the girls in my class played soccer, like, that was huge, and they'd always come back after soccer practice so sweaty and, like, hot, and yeah, I didn't it was not my thing. Volleyball was my thing, not soccer.
Yes, and I
I
can
love
vouch,
volleyball.
Catherine is a very good volleyball player. I've seen her play.
Thank
Very
you.
impressive, very
Did I tell
impressive.
you why I stopped like, one reason I stopped? Well, the main reason was body hurts, right? Like, after a certain period of time, you hit an age and it's like your body is not
I wouldn't know anything about that. I've never hit that age.
right. I'll never
I feel great
forget
every day.
this was so crazy to me. So I went to I guess it was, like, Arkansas for this weekend tournament. It was, like, a Saturday tournament. I must have been in my 30s, and I went, and I kinda knew that I was getting to a point where I just didn't wanna fall on the floor anymore but I went to this tournament and I played with random people I didn't really know, and I'm, like, falling all over the floor, getting the ball, da, 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 and I'll never forget these 2 teenage girls came up to me, and they were like, "How old are you?" And they were, like, debating on how old I was, and I was like they were like, "Wow, like, you're really good for your age, da 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 type of thing." And I was like, yeah, it's about time for me to quit. I was like, when it gets to that point, I didn't take offense to it. I just thought it was funny.
I could tell you didn't
And
take offense to it since you're still talking about it and sound salty about it.
yeah, yeah. It's all right. I feel like
Lean
everybody
in.
has that moment. My
Lean
mom
in.
said, she's like, yeah, I knew I was getting older when the bagger kid, the guy that does bags your groceries, he was like, he called me ma'am. And she's like, "I knew then that I was old," and it was funny, but, yeah, anyway, we played a lot of sports. We played a lot of kickball on the playground. That was
Yeah,
probably the
we did
only
too.
thing.
Kickball and dodgeball. Dodgeball was
Yeah,
pretty big
although
in for
I never wanted
inside.
to.
Well,
Yeah.
because literally it was cream the person, like, meaning
Yes.
throw the ball as hard
Literally,
as
as hard
humanly
as you
possible
can. The
to
people were
eh
mean.
And though that ball, that red rubber ball was not
With the
gentle.
texture?
Oh,
No,
yeah, it
and
was
they still
not
have those.
gentle. I
No,
know.
and it would be like smack,
And you
and
would
it would
always
smack
get,
your
like
skin.
yeah, but you would always get the more aggressive kid that literally
Always.
was
The
looking
twit.
to truly inflict harm on
Right, not to
anybody.
play.
Everyone was a target.
I didn't like
And
playing because I didn't
and
wanna
the
do
gym
it.
teacher would just sit there, right? Like,
Yes,
never
like, this was part
never
of
be
a
like,
game for
yeah,
people.
like, "Wow, let's watch the kids beat the crap out of each other. This'll be entertaining." Like, could you
Okay.
imagine if they had cell phones back then or cameras where you would video like, literally,
The parents
the
would be
whole
like,
school system would collapse because everyone would be under investigation for child abuse.
so you bring up a good point. I wonder, like, part of me thinks that's why everybody's so heightened now because you see everything everywhere. Back then, we didn't have phones to record crap on, so no one knew about it.
It was
Like no one
normal.
knew that you were gonna get smacked with the red ball and dodgeball and it hurt. Like we didn't go home and like complain about it. It was just a normal thing,
Yeah, but
which is terrible.
even if you went home, your parents were sympathetic, but well, at least mine, it would kinda be like,
Rub some dirt in
it's
it.
just kids being kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, suck it
Yeah, it's
up,
weird.
toughen up. So
Yep.
more along it wasn't there wasn't this, I don't wanna say lack of compassion, but it was just normal. It was
Yeah.
normalized in a way. It was like toughen up and you really kinda gotta figure out a way to survive. That I
Right.
feel like that was growing up in school, and I'm sure it's just the same for this generation growing up in school, although their survival is much different than what we had to experience in a much more challenging way for them, but it was just survival, and there was man, I got s the teasing I will say, I'm glad there wasn't social media back then because
Mhm.
I got teased and you got teased a lot as a kid. I couldn't
Yes, a
imagine
lot.
not getting a break from that. Meaning
Yeah.
all over social media, the constant connection of always being obtainable, and we did dumb stuff as a I mean, gosh, prank calling? We used to pr I mean,
Oh, yeah,
we used
that
to
was such
love
a thing.
my gosh, we got so many people pissed off by prank calling them, and that was such great entertainment for us as a
It
kid.
was. I remember laughing about that, being on the phone, did that a lot.
I
I got
literally
made
think
fun of a
that that
lot.
was the creation of, caller ID, was out of
Yeah, I think
necessity
that's
because of all the
yeah,
prank calling.
right. Or, like, what was it where you could dial a number and it would tell you the
Star
last number called?
67.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Star
right.
67.
Oh,
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
randomly talking about phones, remember, I guess it was yesterday, I got, a memory triggered about the white pages, like the phone book.
Mhm.
It's so crazy how we're like, "Oh, we want our privacy," but yet back in the day, everybody's phone number and was it address too or just phone number? I think
It was
was it
everything. It
address?
had all your info.
Yeah, and literally everybody got a copy of it, you
Yeah.
know? But no one went around like, being crazy. Now
Well, d
it's
I
like
don't
you can't you like no one wants anything out there. I mean, which is I don't blame
Well, do
you,
you
but
I don't know if you remember at the phone booth, like, if you would go into the phone booth, they would have the white or
yes,
they would have the phone
on
book
the
chain.
chain. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
literally,
that was
you
so
didn't even
funny.
need to get one, you had access. Now, that was a lot of info in those phone books. I mean,
Oh,
you had the
yeah.
businesses, you had, personal, so you had the white
Yep.
pages, the yellow pages. That was our Rolodex, right? Like, you
Yeah.
had to work to find
You
somebody, you
did
couldn't
to
just
look
type it in
something
there,
up.
so yeah, that
Yeah, it's
was
so funny.
gosh, or the information, what was it?
411.
555-1212? Well, there was a
411.
phone number. It
Oh,
wasn't
oh,
for it started off as, like, I can't remember if it was 555-1212
but I know what
or
you're
is it
talking about.
WE6? Gosh, I'm so old, we used to use letters and numbers when dialing a phone number. WE6, that still sticks in my brain. I was like,
Radio
"Why did they use"
stations.
Well, no,
BREG.
this was for dialing a phone number.
No, no, I know, yeah,
They still use
they
numbers
do.
for or letters and numbers for radio stations, so
It's so funny. Yeah, these memories are crazy, and I randomly, I'll remember stuff too. I'll be like, "Oh, I forgot about that."
yeah, I mean, I feel like we need so one of the things we were talking about is we really should, and this is not to be crass or dirty, So get your mind out of the gutter, people. We should podcast from bed because we have our best conversations
At
when
night,
we're
yeah,
ramping down for the night, when
it's
our
so
brain
true.
is a little more tired, but we can have less flurry of activity in there.
Yeah,
So one of these days we'll experiment with that because some of this stuff we talk about is pretty funny.
it
So
is. And then I forget to write it down, some of it, but
or I just need to record with the plot or whatever what we're talking about and
mhm.
do it. But we definitely have some fun nostalgic conversations and we're kind of I'm enjoying the nostalgia convo. I know today
Me
might
too.
have been a little dry, but I do enjoy
Dry for
walking
who?
down well, I don't you never know. I enjoy walking down memory lane with you. It's always fun, especially because we grew up a lot differently.
Different
But yet
north and south.
the act yeah, I know, right?
That's right.
Man, yeah.
Oh,
I have so
question,
many things I could
did you ever do lemonade stands? That was a big thing.
no, I wanted to, but I could never get the lemonade. So
Poor thing.
I
Couldn't get the
yeah, I just
product?
and I was kind of yeah, right? I could get other product. I was very resourceful, but I was never patient enough. I feel like it was just one of those things where I'm like, I'll get this all set up and it'll be cool for 5 minutes and then I'm going to
Yeah,
be
no, I
bored.
get that. I never
So
really did one.
I did iced tea. I think I set up like a little thing
Really?
at the bottom of my driveway for iced tea because we had iced tea in the house. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I don't know if you ever had this. You just sparked a memory and I'll see if I can find it online. My mom used to buy the frozen iced tea. It was like this frozen
Mm.
concentrate in a
Uh-huh.
like this tube
With the
and you would
cylinder in the freezer
yeah,
section? Yeah.
yeah, and you would peel off the that metal cap and you would it would make
Yep.
that noise like that and
Uh-huh.
plop in the pitcher, and then you would stir it around. It was like pure sugar,
Right, yeah.
and they had lemonade too in that way. I think it was I forget the brand, but oh my
I
gosh, that just
remember
sparked a
those.
memory. Gosh,
But
she
I
loved
always
that
was
iced tea.
I was confused by it until I understood what it was. I was like, "What is this?" I thought I could just buy it and drink it, like, melt it, or it was like a popsicle,
Oh my
you
gosh,
know,
that's like
and
diabetes.
I know, and then I realized what you were supposed to do with it, but I wasn't the type of kid that read the directions on the back of things.
You're not the type of adult that reads the directions either, so at least
True
you've remained
that.
consistent.
Yeah,
At
that's
least you
true in the
remain
kitchen as
consistent.
well with recipes.
That's
But
true with a
anyway,
lot of things with you, which is ironic since you are, the guru
very
of user
detailed.
experience.
I
Yes.
know. I am detailed with certain things.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, anyway, but
Alright.
yeah, that was childhood playgrounds were fun, riding the bike was fun,
Yes.
motorized things were fun.
Anything motorized. We'll have to I didn't like PE.
I liked it only when you got to sit on those little plastic squares with
Oh, yeah.
rollers.
With the rollers. That
Best thing ever.
that and the parachute, right? The
Yep, the
parachute
parachute,
day and the roller day. Anything you
and
could harm yourself in or on was a good day.
there was another one, Guard the Castle or something, the castle, and you would run back and forth to get a ball, and then you it's kinda like dodgeball. You would put in the middle of the gym a row of balls, and you'd have a group on one
That
side,
was
a group on the
dodgeball for
other.
us
We would call it something else, but it was still dodgeball now that I think about it. But I
because you would
liked
put
it
all the balls
because
in the middle, and then each side would
everybody
have
would
to run
run.
to grab the
Yep.
ball, and then you would always
Oh,
have some
yeah.
kid headbutting each other or some sort of other physical violence to get a stupid ball.
I didn't yeah, that wasn't my favorite either, but yeah, there were lots of great things, lots of good
There was.
memories.
So we'll have to continue down the nostalgic road. And
We
for
will.
for anyone that's listening, make sure you share some of your favorite nostalgic memories or
Yeah, I'd love to
something that
hear.
that we could all talk about. Or if someone wants to jump on and talk about nostalgia with us, let us know. Maybe
Yes.
maybe we're missing something. I had some more topics to cover today, but
Save
think we
them.
covered some. I am because I do want to talk about something that you brought up, which I can't remember right now. That's why I can't talk about it. But you brought up something the other day I want to circle back to. So
Okay.
that might be episode 24. So
Okay.
we'll uh we'll close on the nostalgia portion today and
Now I wanna go build a go-kart.
let's build a go-kart and a
I
fort.
really do. I really do
Okay.
wanna build a go-kart and a fort.
I will teach you
Yeah.
how to build the motor and
We
get
might
it
have to
all
move,
working.
so I have a
I could
nicer
even teach you
backyard
how
to
to
build it
weld.
in.
Yeah, I could
I
teach you how to
actually do
weld
know
it
how
up.
to weld.
Do you? Cool.
I do. I took a
Don't have to
welding
teach you
class
then.
in college.
That's why you're so badass. See, you're so badass. But on that note,
Thanks,
we'll do
Nick.
the welding episode next week. So tune in for the welding episode. Catherine
Right.
Weld. Are you
Cat the
arc
welder.
welding? Are you TIG melding? Welding, MIG
Welding.
melding? What
Well,
I
actually, at
can't say
work, I'm gonna
welding.
have to at some point. I know I will.
You'll have to share with the audience what you end up building. In that case, that's another episode of The Well in the Books.
Yes, it
I'm
was great.
Drew.
And I'm Kat.
And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, tune in, support, whatever you can do to help the page grow. We appreciate you. So can't
Yes.
wait to clip this up and let us know what you want us to talk about, if anything. And
And
if you
post
made
your
it this far,
memories.
yes. And if you made it this far, comment with donut. Say the word donut if you made it this far. That way you
Oh,
know you made it this far.
I was like, "Donuts, yum, let's go."
I know. Let's go. On that note, we're going to get some donuts. Anyway, we will see you next time. Peace, everybody. Bye.
Bye.